Let me paint you a scenario. It's a random spring day. Granted, this is Minnesota, so it's probably 10 degrees and raining. But you enter a brick building where every room is either too hot or way too cold. You pass a front office where there's candy for about 10 seconds until it's devoured by vultures. Still walking, if your top button was buttoned and your socks are rolled all the way up, you'll make it past a certain lady with a cart and a middle shoulder, or two. In the hallways, you'll probably hear some kids casually singing choral music. A few people will be debating metaphysics, and Jacob Dylan will probably either be ranting about how bad modern art is, or how cool Bruce Springsteen is. But you continue, till you reach the M6 classroom, a few steps away from the fabled M6 bathroom. But you look into the classroom, where you see 20 high school students pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into a game of The Floor is Lava. Now, in this scenario, you are not in an insane asylum. You are not in Hogwarts, forget the time. And I promise you, you are not on the set of a High School Musical remake directed by Father Mike Schmitz or someone. Now, where you're at is a place where every year, 160 or so kids are taught truths to treasure to the eschaton. And that's a long time. But you, seeing all this, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, first you're thinking, who's that really good-looking kid who keeps winning The Floor is Lava? And, well, that would be me. But after that, you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, this is really weird. And funny you should think that, because a very wise, saintly, and fat old man, who apparently did not die by getting hit by a car, my bad, he once said that Christianity itself is so jolly a thing that it fills the possessor of it with a silly exuberance which sad and high-minded rationalists might reasonably mistake for mere buffoonery. Now, considering Chesterton Academy is an extremely Christian place, it makes sense that it would be viewed as quirky. When you learn to think for yourself and realize happiness is reached through virtue and a relationship with the divine, things become weird. When I first entered this school, my life was a bit more one-dimensional. Academics were just a means to show off and appease my parents. I chased popularity and I'd goof off, not because I was actually enjoying myself and had too much energy, but because I wanted to be known as the guy who goofed off. And that's not great. Now, the simple fact is, a school can't force you to desire the things it teaches you, but it can make those things really desirable and give you every opportunity to turn things around for yourself. Unfortunately, I largely ignored the lessons of the school my freshman year and the beginning of my sophomore year. That September, I was at my worst. And I remember spending that October wondering why I wasn't really enjoying myself. Fortunately, around this time, we were being taught Nicomachean ethics, where we were given completely logical arguments that happiness on earth was achieved through virtue, which, considering Aristotle had never even heard of the true God, blew my mind. Now this, combined with the Plato and Homer we had read freshman year, led me to think, maybe these dead guys really have something worthwhile they're trying to say. I realized that I should probably be focusing on more important things, at least more important than how many girls were going to think I was kind of cute today. And I never really thought Aristotle and Homer were going to be the guys to convince me of something like that. This shift of focus to higher things led me to take prayer more seriously, which was something new for me, because before this, the only voluntary habitual praying I did was the bedtime, "Good night, my sweet Jesus, the one I love best. I finished my work and I must rest this day, blessing for the rest of this time and keep me from danger and warnings. Amen." And I don't really know how much good that does you. When I realized I should focus on my relationship with Christ, my friendships, and the formation of my mind, a few things started happening. I started appreciating what I was being taught in theology and philosophy. I started trying my best in choir and art. I started paying attention in Mass, and I started having way more fun. When you understand that God has a plan of sheer goodness for you, and that friendship is the highest virtue, it's hard to not enjoy yourself. This was when I started playing The Floor is Lava, jumping headfirst into giant puddles in March, moving the suit of armor into the M6 bathroom. Not so that I could be the guy who did those things, but because I was genuinely having a good time with the people I love. As another extremely wise man once said, when you have a wholesome time with great people, life becomes a splendid party. If you've never heard that quote before, it's probably because I just made it up. But I don't know. It sounded wise to me, so I threw it in there. Now, one of my favorite things about this school is how it understands that if you give a kid a great education in a place he despises, he'll hate everything you say, or just ignore it. But if you teach him well in a place where he had the time of his life, he'll remember your lessons forever. That's why if you leave a couple Chesterton kids alone for a while, they'll start conversing about the properties of heaven, their favorite styles of art, their prayer lives, or black holes. Not just because we know worthy knowledge feeds the soul, but also because we have fun where we learn. So we kind of end up like learning. So yes, this place is very strange, and no one's going to deny that. But that might just be because it's so joyful. All things considered, I wouldn't try and make Chesterton be like every other school. Not in a million years. Yeah, it's weird, but it's also very good, and I'm very thankful for it. Thank you.